I'm going to go to that one. I'm saying go to that one and you can't see what I'm doing.
On Rough Rider's end, it's also good. He's checking his iPhone to see if it's also good on there.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I also have my iPad on the stream, so better double than nothing, right?
Yeah. Because normally it was the both myself and Christoph were having trouble on the it was my iPad and he had an Xperia, I can't remember what it was. I'll update all the descriptions. And he was having trouble as well. His kits kept buffering and stuttering, and mine was buffering and stuttering like nobody's business. Okay, so airserver.com. Let me find the link to that, put that in the description.
Yeah, once you hit the track, Rough Rider will let us know if it's still good on his iPhone too.
Thank you. I'll be 2 seconds. Just need to find the link now for Reflector. Okay, where's the link to Reflector? I forgot. Oh, there I am looking for Reflector as the web page, and I completely forgot that for some reason. It's squirrels.com, airsquirrels.com. Okay, I'll be in the session in a second. Free Reflector Air server. Okay, so let's upload that. And then I will jump on track. Really appreciate everybody who's helping out with the tests, because I was one frustrated individual all weekend. So let's see if everything's up on the screen. So what's that? Max heart rate of 117 beats per minute. That's nothing. Okay, so that should be going up to YouTube soon. Let's get back on track. Okay, so Ralph's in here already. Oh, sugar. Didn't see them at all. Okay, so at least I now know that... I should have known. I've been here before. It's not like it's the first time I've been to Zandvoort. But at least I now know in a practice session to remember when you come out of the pits here, with the cars on the pit lane, you really have to scroll down the F3, otherwise you'll be lulled into a false sense of security that the track's clear when it's not. And I think that's a really interesting byproduct of a brilliant update that iRacing made, which was, rather than the cars disappearing from the pit lane when you hit escape, they sit there, which I'm assuming they needed to do for the driver swap. The unfortunate thing is you now have all those empty cars sitting on the pit lane showing up in your F3. Let's let Derek go by. So yeah, in game, now I'm seeing the occasional stutter, but again, I don't know if that is more to do with the processor being overworked. And as I said, I'm not very technically minded, so I don't know what part of my system might or might not be a bottleneck. And I'm loath, after all the money spent on it already, to look into the should I go and upgrade the processor, which I will do at some point. But right now, the thought of taking the PC from where it is, opening up the innards and changing the processor is far more effort than I even want to consider at this point. This from the guy who what, 15, 16 years ago thought nothing of going down to PC World, idiot, pay attention, going down to PC World, buying a case, buying a processor, buying a motherboard, buying the RAM, buying all the bits and pieces like PCU and blah blah blah, and building a computer. Well, it's like the t-shirt, been there, done that, and I really don't want to be there again. If I have a choice, I'd much rather pay someone else to do that. Because I haven't got a clue when it comes to software.
The stream on Rough Riders and looking good on the phone as well as the monitor there, Mark.
Ah, brilliant. Thank you. Like I said, I'm not sure whether all of the problems were my end or if some of them were the Twitch servers. Because when this is going to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but when I analysed the log from the streams that I was doing yesterday as the tests, which was as technical as me going into the options in OBS and clicking analyse last log, one of the tests it automatically did came back with the results that the connection or the server that I was perhaps streaming to may have some delays on it, and in there, very helpfully, were links to a web page that did straight away ping tests for all the Twitch servers to tell me which one I should pick. Now, considering I'm in the UK, it amazes me still that it said the Dutch server was still a better connection. I don't understand that.
right side. Clear, 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 clear.
Uh-oh. There was barely enough space coming out of that chicane not to hit the rough in front of us. Oh, okay. Survey. Rough or roof?
Yeah, we'll do. Have a nice evening, Rough Rider.
Yep, thanks for helping out. See you on track. Uh-oh. Sorry. When I say I hate this track, it's for the obvious reasons that I suck here. Because I don't really hate it. It has some really nice elements to it. It's just, that was a good example. He is obviously much faster than me. Yet still, he couldn't pass until I made a mistake. And he would have ended up following me the entire lap if I hadn't have made that mistake. Now, I once had a race here in the Lotus 79, and I was much faster than the car in front, who, fair play, was just driving defensively, and I spent the entire race unable to get by. They thought it was a great race. I thought it was frustrating as hell.
Keep going.
Okay. So now what I need to do, now that it seems stable in here and stable for you, is save the settings, not touch them, but also now start putting some thought into how to get this car around the track. Because we're going to be here again Saturday for the Sim Racers Asia race, and I'd like a third time to the charm race where I actually don't mess up or get caught up in a mess. There's Ralph. Don't know why I stayed in fourth there. I don't know why I didn't remember to change the brake bias. Okay, let's see if the phone's finished updating. Doing that, I probably just messed my phone up, but hey ho.
Gonna have a car off to the right. Keep coming.
Okay, that felt better. Okay, so now what I need to do is remember the keystroke to enable you to move your black boxes and on-screen displays around, because I need to move my gear icon or display and put it somewhere I can see it. Because far too often in this car, especially, I forget what gear I'm in, or think I've shifted, don't hear the clunk, shift again, or think I've heard the clunk, don't shift and do what I just did up there, take the turn in completely the wrong gear. Sorry, went silent. Trying to figure out which is my worst sector. And figured out that pretty much it's all of them. Okay. Let's take some fuel out. And the only reason I say, actually no, let's just finish the session. We've got about half an hour to go. So how much fuel's in the car? Yeah, let's leave it as is. Okay. Forgot. Was going to see if the phone had finished. No, not now. I just want to use my phone. Stop giving me options. Aha. Oh. Your carrier may charge for SMS messages used. Just seriously, turn on. Okay, so let's have a look. Where are we? There we are. Okay, so now we're back in business. We have the phone back in Twitch. However, I won't try to see if the phone will connect to Reflector properly now. I'll do that tomorrow. Why mess with something that seems to be working so fine? But yeah, if I can get the phone to connect, then I can claim the iPad back, which obviously has a bigger display, which makes it inherently easier to read. Another piece of software that I was using was iBuzzer.
In front of you. He's rolling.
Oh shit.
Keep going.
which was really
If anyone
good.
asks which gloves you use, Mark?
Gloves. Gloves. They're...
Gloves.
Ah, cool. Yeah, they're the Alpine Stars. Funny story. Because I turn normally I turn the force feedback up a bit. I say a bit. I used to have it at 100%. Well, as high as I could get it. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to get a feeling through the steering that there was a 2-ton car beneath me. I can't really deal with light steering. However, I had to stop doing that because it hurt. Then I got a brilliant, I was really pleased with it, F1 style, I think it was Perspex, but plastic mod wheel for my G27, which is really cool. Did I just say cool? Oh gosh, how old are you, Mark? Hey, hybrid. Yeah, what with that mod, and it was like the McLaren MP4 wheel, so you get the impression. I'd find that the inside of my thumb knuckles would get sore, and then there are the calluses and blisters from the sweat, and then also the wheel. No matter what type of wheel you had, it would get polished where you were gripping it and obviously sweating. So I started using, first I had weightlifting gloves, but they were just far too big and difficult to manipulate the paddles, shifters and the buttons on the wheel. So then I tried, I have no idea why I had a pair of golfing gloves, because I don't golf. I think it was a vanity thing. I liked the colour, so I just bought them, but they were too thin. I may as well have just taken them off. And then I used my TENS cycling gloves, and I say cycling as if I'm any good at it. I just prefer cycling to get some exercise than running. I can't just run on pavement for no good reason. Unless someone's chasing me or I need to get home in a hurry, I can't just run. Bores me. So I had those, and I've actually got those over here so I can show you. So TENS cycling gloves, so those are the kind of gloves I'm talking about. The problem with those though is, as you can see, they're fingerless, tipless, so just where the glove would finish, unfortunately, would be where my thumbs or fingers would be in contact with the spokes on the wheel. So although they were helping the palm of my hands where I get calluses, they were doing nothing else for my fingers. So for, I don't know if it was my birthday or Christmas, because I'm hopeless when it comes to giving people any hint of what I would like, because ultimately I don't do birthdays really, I don't do Christmas. I'll buy other people presents, but I don't need presents. I don't like having excess stuff. So if I haven't got it or don't own it, I probably don't need it, want it, or can't afford it. And if I don't want it or need it, I'm not necessarily going to use it, no matter how appreciative I am that someone bought it for me. I unfortunately still have presents from years gone by still in their packaging. Just because if I had never had any thoughts about using whatever it was, it just doesn't occur to me to go and try and find a reason to use it. So people keep saying, what do you want, what do you want? Which normally results in me saying, just get me socks. Because let's admit it, who doesn't need socks for Christmas? I have no idea what happens in the washing machine, but socks disappear. So one year there was like, we refuse, we're not buying you socks. What do you want? And I said, tell you what, get me some karting gloves. I think they thought that meant I was going to leave the house more and go karting, whereas we all know I just wanted them for sim racing. And that's the long version of where I got the gloves. So what do we have? We have Fanatec V2 pedals, which I'm in the middle of a conversation with one of the Fanatec support guys. I need to film a video of the pedal not working properly. It's just a simple thing where the board's got a fault, or through wear and tear has now got, oh, this is going to be bad. This is why I don't like that track. Yes, so just the sensor or the boards needs replacing, so you stop getting 100% travel. So what I've had to do, as Fanatec kindly suggest on their website in the interim to find out which part of it needs replacing, is you take the connector for the throttle and the connector for the clutch, you switch them around and you see if the problem stays with the throttle or moves over to the clutch. Mine moved over to the clutch, which means
Sorry,
it's
if I
the
got in the way
board.
there, Mark.
No problem.
Yeah, it looked like I set you up to drive into the other two.
I'm hopeless here anyway, so any help crashing is appreciated. Yeah, so where was I? So Fanatec V2s, they probably, okay, I don't want to go all hyperbolic, but they probably
Keep your eye open.
have done the most to help me get anywhere near competitive in sim racing. The most in the entire 2 decades I've been in sim racing than any other piece of equipment. Now there may be other brands and other models and makes that are better, maybe there are some that are far more expensive, but for me it was the first pedal that was really sturdy with a brilliant load cell for me. Others again may say there are better ones out there, but all of a sudden my braking was so much more consistent. Threshold braking, which I'd never heard of before, just became second nature, and all of a sudden you find half a second, because where the fast guys make up a lot of their time on you is on the brakes. Just like in real life, they can carry more speed in. Ooh, should have concentrated. They can carry more speed in, keep the car under control, carry more speed to the apex, come off the brake without locking up, keep the car balanced nicely, pitch it in, take a perfect line, all the things I can't do, and make up 2 tenths, 3 tenths on you every corner, maybe a tenth, once you get to the point where you're only about a second off the fastest. After that, the steering wheel, the one I've got now is the Thrustmaster T500 RS. Before that I had a G25. Actually, let's go way back. Before that I had a Microsoft Sidewinder. I really didn't like that because it was really hard plastic. And I'm one of those people that's really tactile. I like the steering wheel that this has because it's spongy to the grip, so you can really get comfortable holding onto it, whereas the Sidewinder I just felt was just, yeah, plasticky. After that, I won't talk about the weird freestanding analog wheel that I had back with the Atari 520 STE. It was obviously the precursor to the Wii wheel. After that, G25, which was a step up. G27, which was a huge improvement because it didn't have the clunky gears. But this, with the belt-driven drive, is so much smoother. I just find it so much more precise. Then yeah, iBuzzer for the fuel announcements and the pit box countdown. But I think, oh, crap on a stick. It keeps crashing because I think it was having issues with connectivity whilst all of the other apps I've got running to get on the stream, all the other network traffic, and I'm wondering actually if it unfortunately was contributing to the stuttering I was getting, so I'm just not running it anymore at the moment. And to be fair, the only thing I was really using it for was to count me down into my pit box, which was more helpful than you'd think. No need to keep looking down the pit lane to try and figure out where your pit stall is. If it starts telling you in 10, 9, you know to look up. Then what else do we have in the stream? The Windows resource monitor from the task manager is what's giving the CPU usage. iSpeed, Troy Schultz's program that lets you compare your deltas, work out your fuel burn rate, lets you upload your best laps to a database where you can then download other drivers and compare. What else do we have? Webcam, obviously webcam, and then all the great Twitch overlay, which I always wanted to use, but before deciding to sit down one weekend and figure out OBS, which really isn't that complicated, I was using Shadow Play to stream straight from my graphics card, the NVIDIA GeForce Titan, but that meant you couldn't do overlays. So as soon as I bit the bullet and started doing all of this tweaking with encoding bit rates and blah blah blah, I figured out actually the overlay makes it so much more immersive when you watch it back, or like you find people are actually watching it live. So I think we've also got the pedals and G meter in there, although I might have taken that off. You've also got the splits up there from iSpeed. I think there might be a delta for positive, negative speed and time on the lap. The creaking you can hear is my wheel stand Pro, which is the same wheel stand I was using for the G25, G27. It fits perfectly with the Thrustmaster. So all that creaking, although it upsets the house.
Pedals and G meter are still there, Mark.
Thanks. Although it upsets the house with all the noise it makes, I kind of like hearing it in the stream. It makes it sound like I'm actually in a stripped out race car. What else do we have? All of the flashing stuff, which when I've seen on other people's streams before, I thought, wow, they must be really good programmers. They're just tools in the Twitch overlay. Well, actually in OBS. I lie, they're in OBS. You can just create the single image in whatever graphics program you've got. I've got Photoshop. Well, finally a decent lap. And it just lets you, like a slide deck, put multiple images in. So all you do is just make one image have a glowing outline, the other one not. Put the two of them in the slideshow, change the seconds between transitions, and hey presto, it looks like it's flashing. So if you have any suggestions even on what you think we could do to make it better, let us know. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, clear the track. I'm sitting still. I don't blame him. I was deliberately sitting still because, you know, cardinal rule, if you spin, brake, don't move, be predictable. However, what he was probably thinking first of all, if he was even aware I was there, was that I would be on the escape button and perhaps my car would disappear before he got there. Because I'm not going to lie. Excuse me, sorry. That's what I'm always thinking, well, hoping. If I'm on a decent lap, unless it's in a race. If it's in a race, then I honour the threat. Honour the threat. It's not a flight sim, Mark. But yeah, if I see the yellow flags, if I see smoke, I will slow down. I won't do the Mika Hakkinen slow down. I will literally slow down. Whereas in a practice session, you just think, let's do the Days of Thunder thing. Put our foot down and drive straight through it. Uh-oh. So let's have a look. Probably 2 seconds off. A decent time. But I'll take that considering I haven't really concentrated because I can't really talk and race. I miss my apexes and my braking points and everything. That's why every so often I'll just go silent. And then I do something like that. I start getting really clumsy with the throttle and brake inputs. Whereas even if it wasn't the roof, I know the smoother I am with the transitions, the better. But in any car that upsets it, in the roof, with the engine at the back, it's just asking to get spanked. So all the Dutch people in the stream, that includes you, Raymond, how do you actually pronounce it? Rough or roof?
I would say
Car
rough.
on the right. Keep coming.
Rough it is then. Okay, this is going to end up in me crashing because I can't see past him. And the track is so skinny. And not to be a parrot, that is what really frustrates me about this track. See, because if you were at the Nordschleife, fine. I'm not going to try and pass you. You're lucky if I can remember which way I've got to turn in 200 meters. And if you're at somewhere like Po or Macau or Monaco, again, completely understand the line astern. But here, the idea that you've got to follow somebody the entire lap pretty much is soul destroying. So let's back off. Hey, I call it a Porsche as well. I don't care that they stuck a badge on it. We all know what it really is. So let's see if I can concentrate on this lap and actually pull some sectors together. Or just blow turn one. How long have we got left? Oh, only 3 minutes. So we only have 3 minutes. Let's do something stupid. Where's the... Let's change the brakes straight away. Okay, so 3 minutes left. Again, thank you to everybody
Keep on digging,
that's
bud. We're going to be pitting you in 5. We're going to pit in 5.
helped with feedback on the stream. Especially... Oops. When I said stupid, I didn't expect... What was that all about? Why are the gears all over the place? Just remembered. Should have just taken the fuel down. So basically we've got 1 lap. It's going to be a 1 lap shootout. Excuse me. So 1 lap, get round, get back, cross the line, see if we can put the sectors together. It might have been 2013, or was it 2014? Anyway, I tried getting around here in the, was it the MP4? I want to say it was the MP4. It might have been the C6R. Anyway, it was soul destroying. I couldn't figure out how to maximize any of the sectors. And normally, oh you nutcase. Normally, I can at least figure out every sector. I just struggle to put them all together. Whereas here, I just couldn't figure out what was the best line, what was the best gear, whether to take
In front of you, keep your eye open.
a wide apex to straighten the car up, whether to... I just couldn't figure it out. And I spent the whole weekend a second or two off of my own pace, let alone the 1.5 seconds I would normally be off the top of the time sheets. And then, just when I'd given up for the week, I did one lap, fluked it, put in a PB, purple sectors every sector, watched the replay, still couldn't figure out what I'd done. Never repeated the lap time the whole season. See, I thought I was in second. Need to stop soaring at the wheel as well.
Got one off the track in front of you. Very slow on the right.
Need a clear track, Ralph. Ralph likes to wait for you. It's like he doesn't like being alone on track. So he'll wait for like a photo op. Ah, messed up that turn. Okay, session's
That car is
over,
doing
so...
again. Tell us what you think it needs.
So this is just a moment of... I had to straighten him back out.
Nice save though.
Oops. Yeah, the first one was. I just had to try and get a little bit of gas in to push the front of his car back, rather than let him keep spinning out. This car on fresh tyres is amazing. Go. My car's broken. Ooh.
Thank you from Stefanio, Mark, for supporting the Masters of Endurance last weekend.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, we really want to get into that series. The only thing that's stopping us at the moment is we haven't put enough effort into making sure everyone has got their iRacing up to the right level. Plus, we need to just make sure that we were all available. So we're still working our way up to it. Like the spirit of VLN, we're going to try and qualify for Kota, and if not Kota, Bathurst. Just because this is more fun than anything else, being on track with your teammates, but in the same car so you don't wreck each other. Look at that, in a broken car. I'm still probably lapping better than I was when I was trying to actually put in proper laps. Uh-oh. I knew he'd hit me. Let's have a look at that lap. I knew you'd hit me. Oh, his car was battered already. Oh, I didn't hit him. Or did I? I'd like to think that I didn't hit him. Did I hit him or did he just lose it? Because if he just lost it, he owes me. If I hit him, well, what's he complaining about? Let's see. Did I hit him? See, I reckon it was netcode. That's what I'm claiming. Whether it was or it wasn't, doesn't matter. I'm claiming netcode. Let's have a look. Is there contact? No! See, I didn't hit him. So, technically, Ralph, I saved you. That's what we're going with. We're going with I saved Ralph because he wrecked due to netcode. Let's have a look at it again. But I still saved him. Notice how I've said that over and over and over again. Ralph's funny. So, what did we get up to? Max heart rate of 142. I'll take that. Yeah, hopefully, but Kota. Oh, look at that. That was a bad hit. Oops, sorry, Ralph. Hey, the first one, Ralph, was netcode. I didn't hit you. The second one, I might have hit you a bit.
I think you have to read chat, Mark.
Need to do what?
Read the chat. Message from Stefano.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, hopefully we'll get into Kota. I was just going to say, I started waffling and then stopped. If you think I dislike this track, you should hear what I have to say about Circuit of the Americas. That is one of the hardest tracks I've ever tried driving, ever. It's ridiculous. Those sausage curbs annoy the hell out of me. Just unbelievably difficult to navigate. Let's have a look at that lap. Unbelievably difficult to navigate. It just frustrates me. I think I prefer the Grand Prix layout to the West layout. But I watched the Neo race, and I was really impressed that people managed to do 4 hours around there. So it's 10:28. Probably spent a little bit longer testing this than I expected to. However, I'm crossing my fingers because, as you can see, at this stage, in game, I really didn't have any issues. Don't know how many other cars were on track, but I really didn't have any issues in game. Whereas all weekend, if you saw any of the streams, you'd have seen me complaining about graphic stutters. And from the feedback so far from everybody watching, again, thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody that followed as well. Aiming to get to 100 follows. I don't know why, but aiming to get to 100 follows. So thank you to everyone that followed, and for everybody that gave feedback on the quality of the stream, and for those people that went the extra mile and checked it on their browsers, and then checked it on their smartphones, and then checked it on their tablets. Appreciate it, because if you speak to one of my other teammates, Christoph Babish, you'll know that both he and I have been scratching our heads trying to figure out why. We can watch someone else's stream perfectly fine on the tablet, and then on my own stream it's just really, really bad. Now again, I don't know if that might also be because I'm uploading or streaming on the same Wi-Fi network that the tablet's on. So although the computer I'm using is connected by Ethernet, obviously the iPad's on Wi-Fi, so I don't know if that's part of the problem as well. So yep, thank you to everybody. Hopefully I'll get back on during the week and do a bit more practice and a little bit more testing, fine-tune the overlay. But yep, if you don't mind hitting follow, would appreciate that. You've also got all of our social media links down there, so feel free to come check us out on Facebook, Twitter. I heard someone on the Masters of Endurance, one of the teams, I think it was Coanda, were in the commentary box being interviewed, and they said that only bad teams have a Google Plus page. We have a Google Plus page. That means we're a bad team. But yeah, I think we're 3 likes away from 500 followers on Facebook, so that's cool. On Twitter, I think we're up to about 60 followers, but every time I stream, or any of my other teammates who stream through Twitch come online, if you haven't hit follow and don't get that notification, if you follow our Twitter page at Blue Flag Racing, usually when we start streaming there's a tweet that comes out, and we're going to try and make sure that the messages actually tell you what's happening, and all that requires is a little bit of discipline on our part to update our dashboards before we hit stream. So thank you everybody. It's 10:30. I need to now go and iron my clothes for work tomorrow. Pray that it doesn't snow. If it snows, me and myself will be walking to work or taking a taxi, because my car will be sitting on the drive. It really doesn't like the snow. So again, yeah, thank you everybody else that's either been watching and then gone off to do other things, and see you around.